All right, man, peace. So the great LeBron James was finally able to surpass Wilt Chamberlain in all-time points scored, which does not surprise me. I do believe that before his career is over, he is going to pass the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when it comes to the record for all-time points scored by an NBA player. And of course, this has necessitated the super liberal mainstream sports media to fawn over him. I think that it's deserved to a degree, even though they make it inordinate, because they like to talk about how LeBron James is not primarily a scorer, that's not what he does best, and blah, blah, blah. This has been a narrative that the mainstream liberal sports media started about LeBron James 15 years ago, and it has never been true. What LeBron James has always done best is score the basketball and dominate the basketball. That's why he averages about 27 and 28 points a game for his career. He's never ever led the league in assists in a season, but he has led the league in scoring. And due to the fact that he is Oscar Robertson 2.0, that's who he is, he's always going to compile stats when it comes to points, rebounds, and assists. And that truly is the player that LeBron James has taken to the next level in regards to the paradigm that he introduced into the NBA. Now, in regards to who he represents pertaining to his overall style of play, how he's perceived in the NBA due to his physicality, and the disparity between his physical presence and all the other players, I've always stated that it's Wilt Chamberlain and Shaquille O'Neal. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
We are all witnesses. LeBron making history last night against the Trailblazers, passing Wilt Chamberlain for 5th on the NBA's all-time scoring list. James finished the game with a season-high 44 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. His 44 points were the most by a Laker scored in a game since Kobe Bryant's 60-point performance in the final game of his career. LeBron, how you feeling?
It's still a process for us, and we want to try to get better every day. And I believe we've done that since the start of training camp. We've gotten better from September to October.
I completely agree with that. As a matter of fact, as of right now, I think that the Lakers are arguably the second best team in the Western Conference. I need to see them play the Rockets again. I need to see them play against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I need to see how they look against the Utah Jazz. But as of right now, the Los Angeles Lakers are the second best team in the Western Conference from what I've seen. I think that the Denver Nuggets have receded a little bit. The Portland Trail Blazers, we already know what they are. They're a two-man team. Damian Lillard, he's more concerned with scoring points than he is with making his team better. So until Damian Lillard understands what it takes for him to carry his team to the next level, they're always going to be a 47, 48 win team out in the first or second round.
And now we're in November, and we've gotten better throughout these first 2.5 months, so we want to try to continue that.
All right, the King has 4 more to pass. MJ, Kobe, Karl Malone, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He trails Kareem as the all-time leading scorer by just under 7,000.
MJ did that in like 3 seasons, by the way.
Yeah.
LeBron James is going to surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in another 3.5 years.
That's why he's the GOAT. Max,
Yeah.
is LeBron doing the most? No, seriously, is he doing too much for this Lakers team?
No.
How could he be doing too much for this Lakers team when the talk has been that he has not been doing enough, that he's been moving the basketball too much, that he has not attempted to carry the team down the stretch of games? Once again, the media is trying to initiate this narrative of LeBron James not having enough help.
No, he's doing exactly what you knew he'd have to do to get them to the playoffs. If they lose last night, they're 7-7. I think it's instructive that they won, and he did everything. He was the everything man. He was even more active on defense, if not a stalwart defender.
That's what I stated he would be after they were able to attain Mr. Tyson Chandler, who has transformed their team on the defensive end. Now, Tyson Chandler has allowed LeBron James to do what he really wants to do, which is just sit back and try to play the passing lanes. LeBron still does not play very good defense one-on-one, but now with Tyson Chandler, he can play a little bit better help defense and attempt to compile some defensive stats like steals and deflections, things of that nature.
He was more active. He had some emphatic, defensive stops. And then on offense, he did everything. And this is what he's going to have to do. Look at the circumstances. Yes, the Blazers were well rested, but so were the Lakers. They hadn't played since Sunday, so 3 days rest. LeBron James, against the second best team at the moment in the conference, does everything at home, gets them the win. Those are the kind of things he's going to do, but he has to pick choose his spots. He can't do that on a nightly basis, or he'll have nothing left in the tank for the playoffs. He did this with the Cavs over the last several seasons.
So you think he's doing too much?
He's doing exactly what he needs to do to get the team to the playoffs.
He's basically perfect.
After a 3 days rest at home against a good team, where you'll be either 500 or over 500 based on the result of the game. He does everything, including be more active on defense, and he gets the win. He will continue to do this. Not the second of back-to-back, not when they've had a long stretch of games. He's going to have to develop the guys around him, bring the team together, but he will pick and choose his spots to get them to just a good enough record to squeak into the playoffs. Then he will do this again in that playoff series. It's going to be enough to win one playoff series. They don't have another great player around him. They're not going to win 55 games and get to the Western Conference Finals.
Let me say this very quickly. No, I do not believe that the Lakers are going to win 55 games. That's for sure. But if LeBron James is healthy and he's able to play all 82 games, I expect them to win at the very least 48 games. I expect them to win at the very least 48 games, maybe even as high as 52 games. There was a portion during the season where I started to become concerned about what I was seeing, but the Tyson Chandler acquisition to me is going to be pivotal. The only question is going to be making sure that he can maintain his health.
Lakers have won 7 of their last 8 games. That's number one. Number two, what I saw last night, I actually liked. I watched the game from start to finish, and I got to tell you, I don't think he's doing too much at all. I know the numbers doesn't say that because when you finish with 44, 10, and 9, it looks like he did a lot, particularly. But keep in mind, he did that on 19 shots. I saw Kentavious Caldwell-Pope come off the bench and drill 3 3-pointers. I saw Kyle Kuzma struggle, but I saw JaVale McGee, who we're not saying enough about. JaVale McGee is flat out balling thus far. We got to give this man some love. He's entering a contract year.
JaVale McGee's doing a phenomenal job for them. As a matter of fact, he's probably the best backup center in the NBA right now by far.
He has shown up in Tinseltown, and he has flat out balled. We got to give JaVale McGee, of all people, we got to give him some love. No Shaq and the Fool this year thus far.
No, he's been Shaq and the Fool on a couple of occasions, but he's been handling his business also. Those 2 years with Golden State have truly helped him in regards to his inner confidence as well as his basketball IQ.
This brother has been balling. He deserves a lot of credit. But here's why I say LeBron James is not doing too much at all. Because of the 19 shot attempts, A. B, they were moving the ball around, and a multitude of guys were taking shots. A multitude of guys started to make some shots. Brandon Ingram finished with 17 points last night on 15 shots. Kyle Kuzma struggled, but he only shot 8 times. You look at JaVale McGee, 12 shots. Lonzo Ball shot the ball 11 times. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 4 from three-point range. Josh Hart only shot 2 of 7. What I saw when they made their run against Portland last night, Max, I saw other guys stepping up and making shots. I'm talking about during that spurt when they were pulling away. Those are the kind of things that I look for. Usually when you see a star, you see guys taking 28, 30 shots, whatever, they on a roll, they making things happen. Again, LeBron took just 19 shots. The Lakers attempted 93 shots. Other guys stepped up on both ends of the floor last night, and that's why I'm still not ruling out the fact that they're going to win 50-plus games and they're going to the conference.
But no, look at when.
I'm staying with that.
You should stay with that. As a matter of fact, you should feel emboldened by that prediction that you made, Stephen A. Smith, because I can see it more and more. The West is looking far less dominant than it has in years past. I think that it's filled with teams that are in flux, either mentally or physically. There are a lot of young teams in the West right now. This really is an opening for the LA Lakers.
When he did it, Stephen A., not like they played the night before or even 2 nights ago or they're on the road. When you're at home and you've had 3 days off and your record will either be 500 or above it, it's not so much the offense. You're right, because there's so many possessions in today's game that, if the score's 127.
Especially with the Lakers because of their pace of play that they try to incorporate.
That's right, but the whole league obviously.
Well, the pace of play that they try to utilize for now. We'll see how long they keep that up. Because I still don't believe that LeBron James is someone who likes to play that fast.
More than 10 or 15 years ago, a lot more. 127, 116. So, he had a teammate who scored 17. He had a teammate who scored 15. Well, of course. Look at the number of possessions in the game. So the point is well taken on offense. He only shot 19 times. It's not even as much as it sounds. But the activity on defense is another thing that was pronounced last night from LeBron. It's not that he was incredible defensively, but he was active, he was enlivened, and so therefore were his teammates. That kind of thing, he has to pick and choose when he does. And he's done it in Cleveland the last several years. The last time we saw LeBron, wire to wire, be a great defender or a great all-around player all through the regular season was the second championship in Miami.
Completely agree. LeBron James in 2012-2013, he should have been MVP and also Defensive Player of the Year.
The third season in Miami. That was the last time we saw LeBron do that. Since then, he has been doing this increasingly throughout his career. If he does not get another great player, Stephen A., he will not have the seeding he needs to...
I think that LeBron James realized after 2013, when they did not give him the Defensive Player of the Year award, that he would never get one. So he lost heart in regards to playing individual defense.
To advance in the playoffs past the first.
Well, it's not a matter of whether he's going to get that other players, whether or not it's going to be this season or this summer, but he's going to get additional help. Make no mistake about it.
I already know that, sir. I've been stating that in many of the LeBron James videos that I've been doing. The league is going to make sure that LeBron James gets at least one other superstar. They're going to put him in the position to win at least one championship with the LA Lakers. Because it's good for the NBA that they can continue this conversation about LeBron James being the greatest player ever. So they're going to put it all out there on the table for him. Either Kevin Durant or Anthony Davis is going to end up with LeBron James, most likely. And then Adam Silver is basically going to say to LeBron James, look, we've done everything that we can for you. In addition to this, some of our referees have been told to give you certain close calls. If you can get to pivotal moments, if you can get to a Game 6 or a Game 7 against a Golden State, we're going to do what we can. But we pretty much put it all out there for you. Okay, so now go do your thing.
On the way, that's number one. Number two, again, he was flowing. He had his first 5 3-pointers.
Yeah.
First 5 3-pointers, he was flowing with the three. Thirdly, and more importantly, like I said, I'm monitoring everybody else. When LeBron James is out there exhausted because he has to do every little thing, that's different. That is not what happened last night. Other guys stepped up when the Lakers were pulling away from Portland.
Stephen A. Smith, other guys have been stepping up all season. This excuse that LeBron James does not have enough help, that better not emerge over the course of this season, because he probably has the most talented cast of young players of anyone in the NBA. They have a lot of talent on that squad. Those young cats, they just do not have enough experience yet. But it's his job to lead them and act as a shepherd.
And Portland had no answer because collectively, defensively, they had stepped up and forced Portland to miss some shots. But offensively, other guys were hitting shots, and I mentioned them already. And I think that if that happens, then you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, led by LeBron James. By default, think about this. Take Golden State out of the equation. Who stepped up in the Western Conference?
I agree with you, sir. I think that the Houston Rockets are coming. I think that since they've gotten rid of that cancer known as Carmelo Anthony, they've started to find themselves a little bit more. Utah is a much better team than they've shown, in my view. The Denver Nuggets, they've taken a very hard right hand from the NBA. They started out the season like a bat out of hell. And the rest of the NBA basically took notice and said, you know what, this is what we have to do against these guys. They've taken hard counters. And now I think they're starting to balance themselves out a little bit better. But other than that, there are no real dragons in the Western Conference other than Golden State. And who knows how they're going to look by the end of this season after that agent of chaos, Draymond Green, did what he did to Kevin Durant.
Who is there right now? We were talking
not Utah right now.
Not Utah.
We'll get into that.
We were talking Denver. We were talking Denver, and then they turned around and lost 4 straight. Okay, Oklahoma City, Russell Westbrook's injured. We know what issues have been going on in Houston. I said before the season began, Lakers, I felt they were going to the conference finals. Why? I didn't just look at them and say, well, you know what, they're better than everybody but Golden State. I said, if you look at the Western Conference, it seems like everybody is positioned to fall off a little bit. With LeBron's arrival and everybody dissipating to some degree, I think that positions them to make a proper kind of noise. The Grizzlies, am I supposed to believe that the Grizzlies are going to last?
No. But the Trailblazers will be a very good, at least regular season team. Lillard has to show he can get better in the postseason or in the playoffs. The way Drew Holiday shut him down last year.
Look, I think that Damian Lillard is who he is. I've been speaking about that brother for a while now. He has to make that turn. He has to show growth in himself as a basketball player. that he's as concerned with improving how his teammates perform on the basketball court as he is in putting up numbers. Until he comes to that determination, they're going to be the same team every year. 48 to 51 wins, out first or second round. Now, when we look at the bottom half of this playoff bracket, the Grizzlies, are they going to maintain? I think their future rests in the hands of Mr. Mike Conley. As long as he stays healthy, they're going to be in the mix. The Clippers are extremely well coached, and they have better personnel than people give them credit for. That kid Tobias Harris, he's a great addition to their team. As a matter of fact, I think he would fit in great with Golden State. But unfortunately for Golden State, I don't think that he's going to be a free agent to possibly replace Kevin Durant. The Lakers, I expect to climb up the standings. The Kings, I expect to fall off and eventually be replaced, most likely by the Pelicans. But that all depends on how focused Anthony Davis is in helping his team this year, as opposed to ending up being one of the being one of LeBron's supplementary pieces.
There's stuff to prove there. It's not coincidental, I don't think, that LeBron had this kind of performance against the second best team in the conference. The Rockets, Stephen A., have Bizdelic back. I expect that defense to get better, and I think that's one of the reasons that Carmelo is on the outs with the Rockets. So I would watch for Houston.
Well, that's definitely one of the reasons, because there's no way that a defensive coach wants to preside over Carmelo Anthony. I've said this numerous times. Carmelo Anthony cannot guard a statue. I don't give a damn which one of his fans wants to get upset with that. It's just a fact. He can't guard a statue, and he's not a proficient offensive player anymore. So what that equals out to is Carmelo Anthony deserves to be playing in China, or he needs to call up Ice Cube.
I don't believe Utah's struggles will continue all season. I think they're fundamentally a better team than the Lakers. I think Denver is good. It's clearly not the conference it was. Clearly not. And I think that LeBron will do this enough to make the playoffs. But to advance to the finals in the Western Conference, I don't think so.
Well, you know what, Max Kellerman? You're starting to sound like a scared fan. You're starting to sound like a LeBron James super fan who does not want to put too much pressure on your boy. That's what you sound like. I think that right now, the overall landscape of the Western Conference is changing enough that we might have to start changing the expectations for LeBron. But once again, it's early. So I want to see how the Rockets look. I want to see how the Thunder look once Westbrook gets back. And that's going to determine how definitive my stance is going to be on whether or not I expect LeBron James to get to the final round of the Western Conference playoffs, as opposed to whether or not him being able to take the Lakers to the Western Conference Finals will be a superlative achievement. But we'll see.
You don't think so? But I'm in no position for anybody to tell me I'm wrong yet.
I agree, sir.
Right now, it's all about the East. By the way, if LeBron keeps this up, the scoring average will pass MJ on January 17th.
Oh, my goodness. Expect LeBron James to spontaneously combust once he makes the basket that passes Michael Jordan.
Rondo's injury could be a blessing in disguise.
I agree.
At this point, because Lonzo gets back in the mix in the way that Kyrie and Gordon Hayward going down last year may have helped the Celtics develop the young guys.
That ain't the reason. The reason is because with Lonzo being on the floor and being required to do more, if he doesn't, when's the trading deadline?
Yeah, but if he doesn't, what are you going to get for him?
You don't know.
Read between the lines.
Look at the glint. Look at the glint in that man's eyes. He's heard something.
You don't know.
Always.
Well, it's very obvious that Stephen A. Smith is aware that the Lakers are considering trading Lonzo Ball, and I've stated ad infinitum before LeBron James got there that once he did get there, that would prove to be the beginning of the end for Luke Walton and Lonzo Ball, and that will happen. I don't care how well the Lakers play this year. Eventually, they will remove Luke Walton, and they're most likely going to trade Lonzo Ball. I will say this, though. Lonzo has played better off the basketball than I thought he would. So, as of right now, I think that there's a pause on it, but certain things I believe are inevitable. So, peace.